In this section, we will discuss about power transistor. There first we will discuss about BJT. You know that BJT is nothing but bipolar junction transistor. Fine. Here no, there are two types are there, NPN as well as PNP. Fine. Here for this BJT, you have collector, base and emitter terminal, and this BJT will get conducts. One base to emitter junction is forward biased. Base to emitter junction is forward biased. Then it start to conduct here, and also here you can see the symbol of BJT. For NPN, when this base to emitter, whenever it is connected in a forward biased condition, it start to conduct. This is the NPN. For PNP, this is the symbol. You can see that for NPN arrow mark is outside. For PNP, you can see that arrow mark is inside. And in this section we will see cross section of this vertical cross section of NP and BJT. When in this vertical cross section we can observe that emitter is made up of N plus region having the concentration of 10⁻⁹ per centimeter cube, and width is 10 micrometer. And if you consider base, it is made up of P type with a doping concentration of 10⁻⁻16 per centimeter cube, and its width is you can observe that 5 to 20 micrometer. Next, if you consider collector region, collector drift region, it is made up of N- region, and its doping concentration is 10⁻14 per centimeter cube, and width is 50 to 200 micrometer. And if you consider collector, it is made up of N plus region, and doping concentration is 10⁻19 per centimeter cube, and width is 250 micrometer. Here now you have emitter, base as well as collector terminal, and here you can have collector current IC, collector to emitter voltage VC is there, and base current you have IB. With respect to all these parameters, you can able to draw the output characteristic curve. Here you can observe its output characteristic curve. Here along x-axis you have represented VCE, along y-axis they have represented IC, and as you apply base current IB, then it shifts from cutoff regions to saturation region. Whenever IB equal to 0, you can observe that whenever IB equal to 0, it will be in a cutoff region. In cutoff region, you can consider that your BJT is in off state, it works like a off switch. As you increase this IB current from IB0 to IB1, IB2, IB3, IB4, it is shift from cutoff regions to active region. In active region, it was like a amplifier. When you increase IB still more, if you increase IB more, then VC drop take place. Here you can observe that VC drop place, and you will get IC maximum, and it shift from cutoff regions to saturation region. Saturation region means this is the region where your transistor works like a on switch. Here you can have two type of saturation, hard saturation and soft saturation, you can observe here. And also here now we can have two type of breakdown. Here you can observe primary breakdown as well as secondary breakdown will take place. Next we can have some other different parameters. We will see what are the different parameters in the next section. Here in this graph, what are the things we have observed that is listed here. It has 4 region, It clearly represents that it has cutoff region, active region, QC saturation, hard saturation. Cutoff region is the area where current is almost zero. Obviously we have seen that you will get some negligible current. IC current will be zero, hence no collector current flows and transistor will be in off state. In QC saturation and hard saturation we have seen that when base drive is applied, transistor is to be in on, that is in QC and hard saturation. Collector current flows depending upon the load. If load is less, it will flow more like this. It depends on load. BJT never operated in active region in our power electronics application because we are using BJT only as on and off switch. We don't expect to operate BJT as an amplifier, that is in active region. So we will use BJT only as an on and off switch. Here now in next section we have seen in that graph we have seen BV sustainable, that is a maximum collector to emitter voltage that can be sustained. ACVS means this is the sustainable voltage. Which voltage? Collector to emitter voltage when BJT carrying substantial collector current. When it is carrying a maximum current IC, no? How much collector to emitter voltage this BJT can able to maintain without any damage. You can consider this one as a BV sustainable. Next BV CEO. This is the collector to emitter voltage. This is the maximum collector to emitter breakdown voltage. Here they have written maximum collector to emitter breakdown voltage that can be sustained when base current is 0. That is a base open circuited. Next BVCBO is the collector to base breakdown voltage when emitter is open circuited. What is that? How much breakdown voltage that will maintain? That is represented by this. All these are nothing but these are breakdown voltages only. This is a collector to emitter breakdown. Collector BVCO is the collector to, this is a collector to base breakdown voltage, and this is the sustainable voltage. This is the sustainable voltage. BV, it represents it is like a breakdown voltage or a maximum voltage that can be tolerated without any damage. So that one we have seen in this graph. So what is that maximum? BVCEO, BVCBO, BV sustainable, that can maintain this much of sustainable voltages without any damage. Next section we will see. Here no, in that graph we have seen there are two type of breakdown take place. First one you can call this one as a primary breakdown. You can observe first type is nothing but primary breakdown in BJT take place because of avalanche breakdown. Here avalanche breakdown means what? Fast moving electrons hits that atoms and it also generate free electrons resulting into carrier multiplication. So because of this type of carrier multiplication, now whatever the breakdown of junction take place, you can call this one as a avalanched breakdown. Usually if you consider PNP, if you consider transistor, usually transistor is made up of NPN, or you can consider transistor is made of PNP. Here you can have two type of diodes that are connected. NP is one diode, PN is another diode. If you consider PNP, PN is one diode and another PN is another diode. There also you have in between N and P there will be a junction. That junction breakdown also take place. That will be avalanche breakdown of the collector base junction take place. You can call this one as a primary breakdown. Usually large power dissipation normally leads to primary breakdown. So if you operate, if maximum voltage, if that particular transistor is handling, then there will be a large power dissipation take place. Then there will be a collector to base junction breakdown take place. You can call this one as a avalanche breakdown. That is nothing but primary breakdown. So next we have seen second type of breakdown. So here now you can have a large collector current, you can have large collector current and collector to emitter voltage drop take place. If you want to get, usually whenever it is shift into that saturation region, in that condition you will be having large collector current, then there will be a drop of collector to emitter voltage. Due to this drop of, I will show this one in that particular graph. Due to this drop in the voltage, collector current increases to the maximum value. Here there is a sustainable increase in power dissipation take place. This power dissipation is not evenly spread across the entire volume of the device. Obviously there will be a power dissipation because of the increasing of collector current. So there will be a drop of collector to emitter voltage, but it is concentrated in highly localized region. So in some of the region it will be localized. These regions are local temperature growth very rapidly. So because of this increasing of this collector current IC, it may result into whatever the breakdown is there. No, you can call this one as a secondary breakdown. We will see that where it will take place, this primary and secondary breakdown. Usually in between collector to base, in this junction, whatever the breakdown that will take place, you have called this one as a primary breakdown. And also if this IC increases to maximum value, whenever it is increased, in that condition there will be a drop of voltage, collector to emitter voltage take place. Because of this, whatever the breakdown take place, you can call this one as a secondary breakdown. Here you can observe that if this IC is increasing maximum, then VCE drops to some minimum value. Fine. This drop of VCE to the minimum value because of increasing of IC to the maximum value. This type of breakdown, you can call this one as a secondary breakdown. So next we'll see model of NPN transistor. Model of this NPN transistor can be shown by, you have how many terminals? 3 terminals. Collector, emitter and base terminal will be there. Then here you have the diode. Here also you have one diode, and current source will be present here. IC equal to beta into IB. So this IC current is shown with the help of this current source. And also there will be a leakage current ICEO from collector to emitter, and there will be a leakage current that is shown with ICEO. So next we can represent this NPN transistor model. Beta equal to current gain beta equal to IC by IB. Current gain beta equal to IC by IB. Next we already know this BJT nature. Collector emitter current is equal to sum of collector current plus base current, that is represented here. Next you can rearrange this expression and you can write down this. And also normally ICEO is a very small and it can be neglected. IC equal to, usually you know that IC equal to beta into IB plus ICEO. This is a very small current, this can be neglected, so you will get IC equal to beta into IB. So you will get I equal to IC plus IB. In place of IC you can write down beta into IB. ICEO is neglected. So you can write down I equal to IC plus IB. So IC equal to beta into IB, IC will be neglected, that will be 0. So you will get I equal to 1 plus beta into IB. If you take IB outside, no, you will get this. And also you have IB equal to IC by beta. You can write on I equal to, in place of IB, substitute this. IB is nothing but IC by beta. So you will get I equal to 1 plus beta divided by beta into IC. And also you know that IC equal to alpha into IE. Collector and emitter, these two are related by this expression. IC equal to alpha into IE. Fine. Then if you use these two expression and if you rearrange this one, then you will get alpha equal to 1 plus beta divided by beta. We'll use these equations while solving the problem. And also here let us consider that if you want to operate your transistor in forward biasing condition, and if you are using your transistor as a switch, you can collect this transistor like this. Here you can see that transistor as a switch, they will connect. Means if you apply some base voltage VB for this transistor, no, this switch will be on. Whenever this switch is on, then current start to flow from collector terminal toward base terminal. When this switch is on, current flow from collector terminal toward base terminal. In above circuit, no, you can write down the expression. VC and VB can write down. Voltage across collector to base, VCB can write down. Voltage across collector to base you can write down VCB equal to VCE minus VBE. Fine. So you can arrange this one. So here now you can observe C will be there and B will be there. So you can write down this one as a VCE minus VBE. VCB means what? Here you can say VCB means collector to base voltage. And also here you can observe that as long as VCB is positive, then this base to collector junction will be obviously VCB is positive means base to collector, it is in reverse direction. It will be in reverse bias condition and transistor will be in active region only. But you are operating transistor in a saturation region. You want to operate transistor as a on switch. And also base current is increased. As a base current is increased, if you are increasing base current, you know that collector to emitter voltage drop take place. In that graph we have seen. We will see that graph here. As this IC is increasing here, no, from actually here at this point IC will be less. As you are increasing IC, obviously here you can say that collector to emitter voltage VCE is getting dropped. Here VCE will be less, here also it is less, here also it is less, here also it is less. VCE is getting dropped as you are increasing IC. And at a particular point it happens such that as you are increasing IC, no, then it will becomes like that VCE drops and it reaches to, it reduces and it reaches to VC equal to VBE. And in this above expression you can say that whenever VCE becomes equal to VBE, then what happens? VCB will be 0. It is a reason whenever it happens like this, no, VC equal to VB, then VCB equal to 0. This is the reason it is switching from active regions to saturation region. We'll see at this point transistor goes from active regions to saturation region. It is switching from active regions to saturation region. Obviously here in your power electronics application you want to operate your transistor in a saturation region, at which point it will switch from active regions to saturation region. Whenever you are increasing IC, then VC start to drop. As this VC start to drop, now VB also drop. Now VC becomes equal to VBE, then VCB will be 0. and in this condition it shifts from active regions to saturation region. Hence maximum collector current of active region. In active region, now what is that maximum collector current you will get? You will get that maximum collector current whenever VCE equal to VBE. During this condition you will get a maximum collector current in active region. IC max equal to VCC minus VC divided by IC. For this expression you can apply KVL. How can write on VCC minus ICRC minus VC? Rearrange this KVL expression. You will get this one. IC equal to VCC minus VC divided by RC. But whenever VC equal to VB, then you can write on this IC as a IC max active region. VC can be represented by VBE. So IC max at equal to VCC minus VB divided by RC. During this IC max, whatever the IB you will get, that is also IB max. So you can write down IB max in active region will be IC max active divided by beta. Fine. As a base current is increased, if you increase base current, obviously it increases collector current. Obviously here you have observed that this base is directly proportional to IC. As you increase base, IC will be increased, so it shifts from active regions to saturation region. Here what they have written, base current is increased, transistor comes out of active region, it comes out of active region and goes in saturation region. In that condition what happens? During this condition in active region boundary you will get VCE equal to VB. But if you increase IB more, means IC also increases more, then VCE drops less than VBE. It drops less than VBE. Then a base current, then a base collector junction will be forward biased. Further increasing in this base collector does not increases the collector current, because collector to emitter voltage become less than 0.3 to 0.6, 0.4 volt. So in that saturation region, what is that collector current you will get now? You can represent this one by IC sat. You can represent this one by VCC minus VCE sat divided by RC. Then you can write down base current will be IB sat equal to IC sat divided by beta. IB sat equal to IC sat by beta, but actual base current is always higher than IB sat, but practically IB will be more than IB sat. Let this actual base current will be IB, it will be IB, then the ratio of IB to IB sat, you can consider this overdrive factor. You can represent overdrive factor as IB by IB sat. The ratio of IC sat to IB is called forced beta. Beta force equal to IC sat divided by IB. Next we will see one simple problem related with this one. Whatever the expression we have discussed now, with respect to that we will see one simple problem. Before going to that one, we will revise the expressions what I had discussed. Beta equal to IC by IB. Next IE equal to IC plus IB. In this expression, if you substitute IC equal to beta into IB plus IC, you can write down that one as I equal to beta into IB. This ICU is neglected, so you will get this IB equal to IC by beta. You will get this expression. Next IC equal to alpha into IA. Alpha equal to 1 plus beta divided by beta. Next ICB equal to ICE minus VBE. VCB equal to VCE minus VB. You will get IC max active equal to VCC minus VCE divided by IC. You will get IC max active region. We will leave these expressions. Next we will get IB max at equal to IC max active divided by beta. Next IC saturation equal to VCC minus VC sat divided by IC RC. IB sat equal to IC sat divided by beta. Next we will get overdrive factor equal to IB by IB sat. Beta force equal to IC sat divided by IB. Next we'll solve one simple problem related with this one. Here in this expression 1 volt is what in between collector to emitter. Now what is that voltage VCE, that is nothing but 1 volt. In between base to emitter, what is that voltage 1.5 volt. In between, and also here no, this resistance is nothing but RC, this is RC, this is RB, this is VCC, this is VBB. With respect to this one we can solve this. We'll see what are the parameters they have asked you to calculate. Calculate force beta, they asked you to calculate a beta, forced beta. Just now we have seen that expression. If manufacturer specifies beta in the range of 8 to 40, calculate the minimum mode drive factor, obtain the power loss PT of the transistor. So with respect to that one, you can write down VB, RB, VCE SAT, VB SAT, RC, VCC, beta. Next for this one, first to calculate IB, you can write down, can calculate IC SAT equal to VCC minus VCE divided by RC. We'll get IC SAT this, VB equal to IB IRB plus VBE, we'll get IB expression like this. Next calculate beta forced beta IC SAT divided by IB, what you have calculated now, substitute this, you will get IB SAT expression. Overdrive factor IB SAT equal to IC SAT divided by beta, overdrive factor equal to beta divided by IB SAT. Total power dissipated equal to VBE IB plus VCIC. So this is the total power PT. You get 35 watts. With respect to similar to this one, you can solve few more problems related with this. Next class now we'll see how you can solve some other more simple problem related to this one. You can solve how you can able to increase the switching speed of BJT and all. What are the changes you can make at this base terminal of the BJT to increase the switching speed. We'll see all these concepts in next class. Okay, thank you, bye.